Kickoff end over end. Berrios gets it just inside the end zone. He's got some steam. He's got a hole past the 30. He is off to the races. Braxton Berrios. Nobody in front of him. Berrios is going to score. Braxton Berrios. No flags on the play.
I woke up this morning, got myself done. Mama always said I'd be there.
Play action, bootleg out to the right. He's got room to run. Setting up, looking downfield. He's going to heave a bomb for Corey Davis at the goal line. Into the end zone. He's got it! That's a Jet touchdown! Zach Wilson unloads from 53 yards to Corey Davis. And the Jets have the lead back.
Never told about right and wrong, but I'm looking good, baby. I believe it, I'm feeling fine. I was born under a bad sign, blue moon in my eyes, so help me now. I got a blue moon in my eyes, Dwayne. So sad, Larry. What you got?
Everything at him. I think you guys will be fine. Yeah, no, like I said, you guys picked up Quan Alexander, and I really like that addition. In terms of really, having to go at, like, I guess you could say, guys like, Mark Andrews, who, that's going to be one of the main matchups, I definitely think as well. I don't know. I think, like I said, I think you guys have a lot of the makings, even without, possibly Zach Wilson this week. I still think you guys have enough as a team to really do it. Not to mention, I didn't even go into detail about the wide receivers that you guys have, picked up the last couple of years. I think it's a lot for, like a Ravens team. I think it's a lot for them to kind of expect week one that, all the guys that they lost toward injury to come back to being 100%. I think that's kind of, fool's gold almost to an extent. So I think, like I said, with it being week one, I definitely think you guys have a good opportunity to, like I said, pull the upset that a lot of people aren't expecting. But, as you guys talk about it, almost daily, you guys, know that, if there's a good time to get at a team this week one. So I'm definitely rooting for you guys. And then also, I don't know if this is okay or not, but I just kind of wanted to plug a little something that for Jets fans, me and Justin, we're gonna be getting in the lab here soon enough, so gonna be talking Jets football and expectations this season. So we're gonna be getting in there and like I said, breaking down the roster, breaking down week one matchups, all that good stuff. So I'm really looking forward to, like I said, getting in there with you, Justin, and like I said, with any Jets fans, Jets Lounge, Late Night Flight, all of them. I think it's going to be a great listen. So, we'll probably have it out probably sometime later on this week. So I just wanted to, plug that in there just real quick. But,
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Can't wait to do it with you, man. It's going to be fun. You reached out to me last week and trying to set something up. So looking forward to doing that with you, man. But yeah, as far as the Mark Andrews situation with having Quan, that's a great point you brought up, because when we were interviewing Tyler Conklin, Benny and I, Saturday, we asked him about the obviously we talked a lot about the tight end because that's his position, but we asked about the addition of Quan Alexander and going up against him, how it changed the dynamic of, because he got to practice with the guys that were there before Quan. Did it change the dynamic? And he said it was just a great signing. So I think that he was trying not to throw any of his other teammates that were cut or the other ones off under the bus before these questions are asked him. We're saying, hey, the room changed for the better. But I think the tone of the question, the answer that he gave me was like, yeah, he's a dog, and I'm not looking forward to having to go up against him because he seems like he knows what's up with the coverage. I think he's a better coverage linebacker, so maybe be able to get Quincy in there for those blitzes will be beneficial to have, the three linebackers back there with the middle and the two outsides. Maybe Quincy can get there on the blitz while we cover with Quan. But we got hands up. Go ahead, Joey.
Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing?
Good morning, brother.
Man, so, yeah, I guess the same concerns to everyone. Let's hope we learn from the preseason because, if we look anything like that Eagles first drive, Jalen Hurts and Goater, then we're going to get our teeth kicked in before we sit down. We're going to be, looking at first and goal, against us if they start with the ball. So Quan Alexander, Whitehead, these guys need to step up. As far as schemes on both sides of the ball, if these coaches are stubborn and they don't want to break their scheme, I'm going to start getting sick, bro. Like Adam Gase sick, on offense and defense. I feel like we got so much talent. I just don't want to see it being wasted. And I was talking to Joe and Clark before, and I just hope we don't get guys that are so good at doing A, and we're trying to make them do B. And I don't know, but I put no weight in the preseason. The offensive line, I get the gelling aspect. I think we're going to be just fine. We got, we brought in 2 All-Pros. I don't care that Dwayne Brown's, my age. The guy looks better than anyone that's been on our offensive line in a decade for the most part. So I feel strong with that. I think Michael Carter outtouches Breece Hall for the first 4 weeks until he really gets down the offense. That's fine. We got 2 stud running backs. But, yeah, man, just Lamar Jackson, and really, we're not talking about this kid likely enough. They're going to have 2 tight ends, bro, and I don't give a shit about their receiver, Bateman. He's going to get waxed, whether it's by Sauce or by Reed, as long as Reed's hamstring's good. If Bryce Hall's out there, it's going to be a rough one. But, I think we're good covering the receivers. We'll be great against the running backs. But Lamar running and hitting these tight ends that are just, disappearing in coverage and then, open 40 yards down the field. That's my biggest fear. Yeah, their corners are filthy. They got Marcus Williams. They got good D backs. So I do think a little bit of the non-vanilla that I've seen that Joe Flacco grossly missed on the deep tight end throws and things like that. I've seen the 2 tight ends roll out to the one side and, pull. I see a little bit of where LaFleur is going, and we didn't even have any tight end last year. We had, some ass wipe. So I'm feeling really good about it, but for as much as a homer and optimistic as I am, and I know I am, I'm probably not as optimistic as everybody in the room. I know my boy Benny's like, wow, I'm super optimistic, but I don't know, man. I don't know what to make it a D. We got the pieces. It's more about the scheme I'm more afraid of. We don't know what it was last year because we tried, baking a cake with no ingredients. So who knows what that mess was. And then this year, they didn't show anything in preseason, so we really have no idea. And really the same with offense. So, I mean, it's a big mystery, but I will say this. Both the Jets and the Ravens were 1 and 2. I forget who was what, with the most players on the injured reserve last year, the most injured teams, money on the bench, whatever you want to call it. And both of them had just lights out drafts in different facets. But, we're lucky we're getting them week 1. But if we don't contain Lamar, I disagree. I know y'all were saying our DNs and this and that. That front 4, Salah ain't changing, bro. They're all gas, no brakes. They're going in. They don't contain. That's the scary part. I don't know who the fuck's going to set the edges on this team because it sure as fuck ain't going to be this group of pass rushers that we have. It's just not going to happen. It's not Walson. It's not JFM. It's not Jermaine. It's not Clement. None of these guys are setting the edge, bro. They're not, 4-3 outside, 3-4 outside linebackers. I don't know how we're going to do that. That's my biggest fear going into the game. How we're going to set that edge.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a mystery and like how exactly we're going to defend them. To me personally, I'm going to learn a lot about Jeff Ulbrich this weekend coming up because Coach said it that ever since the schedule dropped, they've been starting to game plan against Lamar and game plan against the Ravens. That's been a while now. If you go out and you look extremely unprepared and Lamar Jackson's dicing you up, you're not creating no fucking pressure and you're letting Mark Andrews run wide open, it means you fucking took 2 months to game plan and it was fucking horrible. So I'm not a fan of Jeff Ulbrich. My eyes are on him. I need to see something. Granted, it was against second stringers last week versus the Giants, but I like that we created a little bit of pressure. We did some things that we didn't do the first 2 weeks of the preseason. We dialed up some new coverages and stuff like that, which I liked. Now we just need to see it on a bigger scale. And I like the fact that our defense last week was playing fast and was hitting and was creating game-changing plays. That's exactly what we're going to need because the Ravens defense is going to be good. So we're going to need our defense to create a turnover, create a game-changing play, do something of that nature to have a legitimate chance. But I definitely want to get to Buffalo Jet fan. If you don't follow him, follow him. He has a good YouTube channel as well. He kind of broke down the game in one of his latest videos. So go ahead, bro. Talk about it. Everything that you said in that video was pretty on point as far as I'm concerned. So you can go ahead, bro.
Hey, thanks, Benny. I agree with what you said about Ulbrich because to me, my biggest critique of our defensive staff so far is that they seem a little stubborn and not willing to create opponent-specific game plans. Now, they didn't have any players last year, so there's only so much we can judge that. But now they got the players, and you defend Lamar Jackson differently than you defend any other player in this league. So if we're going to go out there and just rush 4 and do our little drop shallow zone, that's not going to work. And we saw last year a few teams kind of figure out a little bit of how to contain Lamar Jackson. And it sounds counterintuitive, but you actually blitz him. Miami, Denver, and Cincinnati figured this out. You blitz him, it takes away his run lanes. And you want to chip Mark Andrews on the way because he's the hot route. And when he's in trouble, that's where he's looking. He's looking at Andrews. So if you can disrupt the timing of Andrews' route and you take away Lamar Jackson's run lanes. And look, if Lamar Jackson is going to be dropping dimes to James Prost and Rashad Bateman and Duvernay over the heads of Sauce, Reed, and Michael Carter, then we're just going to have to take the L. If we lose that way, then we're going to have to live with it. But we just can't let Lamar go video game mode. I've seen a couple people say we want to spy with him with Quan or Whitehead, and I don't think you want to do that. If you quarterbacks spy Lamar Jackson, you waste a defender because nobody can run with him. The first team I ever saw try to do that a couple years ago, Seattle did that with Bobby Wagner, and Lamar hit him for 80 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns, and he made a 29-year-old all-pro linebacker look slow. Kansas City, same thing last year. They tried it with Nick Bolton. Lamar hit him for 100 yards on the ground. So Miami defended him the best last year. They ran the same cover 0 blitz 40 plays in a row. And I think we got the dogs on the outside to do it. I like Sauce and Reed against their wide receivers. So that probably gives us the best chance on the offensive side of the ball. Their secondary is elite. They got some guys coming back from injury, but I think the middle of their defense is where you want to attack it. I like Tyler Conklin against their linebackers, maybe even Kyle Hamilton. I probably want to stay away from Williams and Peters and Humphrey if I can. Although, Elijah and Corey, they're good enough to make some plays, but I think it could be a good game for whoever's in the slot. It's probably going to be Garrett Wilson most of the time, going up against either Washington or Fuller, whoever their slot corner is. I like that matchup. And then we're going to have to make some plays with our yak ability. I don't think we're going to be able to rely on just bombs from Flacco. We're going to have to be able to make some guys miss in the open field. And the 7-point spread, that really is a quarterback and head coach number because these rosters are very, very comparable in talent. But head coach, they have a Hall of Fame head coach. They have an MVP quarterback. We have an unproven head coach, and our backup quarterback is playing. So in order to make up for that, we're going to have to steal a touchdown somewhere. We're going to have to get a Braxton Berrios kick return, a pick six, a big play on a busted coverage or something. We're going to have to steal a big chunk of yards that leads to a score in order to upset them. And hopefully the MetLife crowd could be the X factor here. And if they start off hot and keep this crowd in the game and give us something to cheer about, I think it's going to be electric. And I can't wait, man.
You gonna be there, right?
Oh yeah,
bro?
I'm gonna be there. I'm flying in. I'm coming, man.
Oh hell yeah, let's go. Well, I love the fact that you mentioned the fans. I think that's gonna, no matter what nobody says, I know the players are gonna be the players, and I guess some players are able to totally block out the noise. But if this crowd is into it and is screaming and the JETS Jets chant is roaring, the players feed off that. And again, I think the Ravens players could probably not crumble completely, but that affects players' psyche when the crowd is into it, the players are getting all hype. And I don't know, bro. I know Joey mentioned it that I'm very optimistic, and I am. And I'm not going to sit here and guarantee that we're going to win either way. But I don't know. It just makes so much sense how we come out and surprise them after this fantastic offseason where we got people assume that, we got those 4 practically first-round picks and, you got a bunch of rookies that are supposed to be the Ravens. No, we got a lot of veteran guys who've been there, done that, played big games, know what it takes to win in games like this where you're playing really good competition. Like year 2 of the same system, like everything is starting to roll. And right now is the best time to do it. You got to make your mark right now. There's no waiting around. There's no, we lose, it's going to be okay, we can just move on. No, make your statement now to the league that we're here to stay. Point blank, period. I don't want to just beat the Browns week 2. I'm like, they don't have Deshaun. And then, like, I don't know. I'm tired of the excuses. Let's beat good teams in September. Like, that's it. There's no excuse. Then, all right, JoJo just left. But yeah, no, it's definitely going to be real interesting. So, yeah, I don't know. Defense, you just pulled up, bro. What up, defense?
What's up, y'all?
Talk to me, bro. What'd you think about week 1?
Nah, I agree with everything, man. It's all about stopping Lamar Jackson. If he runs for over 90 yards, he's undefeated, 15-0. So that's what we have to stop. And I'm confident we're going to do it, man. We have a defensive line that I haven't seen. Man, I've never seen a defensive line with this much talent. Maybe Sean Ellis and John Abraham days, but, man, we got Lawson coming back off the edge. We've got Jermaine Johnson and Clemens off the edge. We've got Quinton Williams and John Franklin Myers up. We have pass rushers. And it's a lot's going to have to do with our linebackers too, man. Quan and C.J. Mosley and Quincy Williams, man. It's just about we've talked about it, man. We just got to contain Lamar Jackson and not contain, like Buffalo said, blitz his ass, man. We can't give him any time to run on us. So I just think that's what it is, man, is we have to contain Lamar Jackson. And on the offensive side of the ball, I want to run the ball a lot with Breece Hall and Michael Carter, just test out their run defense. And they got a lot of cornerbacks coming off of injury, man. So I don't know. I think we have a really good chance to win this game, but I'm just excited. I'm just excited for Jets football, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. And honestly, you almost made my point for me for the next topic that I kind of want to talk about on the offense side of the ball. Obviously, we're going to need to run the ball like crazy, kind of how we did versus Cincinnati last year. Let our running backs work, whether it be in the run game, in the short game, and let them create after the fact. And I know Marlon Humphrey is a really good player, and Marcus Peters was a really good player. He's not terrible. But to me, coming off of ACL and him just starting practicing, I think it was a week ago or something like that, I'm testing him. I'm telling Elijah Moore before they head out onto the field, you want to take that year 2 lead? You want to be known as one of the best wide receivers in this game? Marcus Peters is going to be lined up against you. Do what you need to do. Dominate that matchup. Because Marcus Peters, to me, is over the hump a little bit. And freshly coming off that injury, I'm testing that. I'm testing that knee. Elijah runs really good routes, athletic, good after the catch, has everything you need. So I'm testing Marcus Peters rather than Marlon Humphrey, in my opinion. But I don't know. I like what our wide receivers can do, and Buffalo made a good point. I think whoever lines up in the slot has a really good chance of having a successful game, and I think that's probably going to be Garrett Wilson. I don't think Garrett Wilson's going to go over for 100 yards or anything like that, but Garrett should have a favorable matchup with the third corner, and Garrett showed flashes of what he can be in the preseason. So, and I expect with Joe Flacco being the quarterback to put the ball right where it needs to be, so our playmakers can create that yak, can do stuff after the initial catch. But go ahead, PD.
I was just gonna say, give me a second, but I'm good. Listen, reality is, if Elijah Moore can get that chemistry back with Flacco like he did against Miami, if Xavier Howard couldn't cover Moore, there's no way this other guy is. So I'm not worried about Moore. I saw him in preseason. I saw him at camp. He was open all the time. So it's just a matter of Flacco's timing being down, which I'm worried about. I did not see Flacco did play well in the camps that I went to, but that game he against the Giants, he missed a couple of timing routes with Uzama, and I forget who the other guy was on the sideline, but he missed two.
I think it was Conklin. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but that's what I'm worried about, So, and as far as the crowd, man, I mean, not that I'm doing it to, but we're gonna talk about that tonight with Fireman Ed. How the crowd on Rex's home opener affected the game, because it's totally true. If the crowd's into it, I don't care what team's there. It's going to affect the other team. So the fans need to make a difference and bring the energy. So, and then if the Jets are winning, it's going to be even more deafening. If they're losing, it's hard to keep getting up and then getting let down all the time like we've been for the last 10 years. So it's just got to be consistent in my eyes, the crowd. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to say, Benny, man, is I'll be honest, I have no idea how the game plan is gonna go. I don't know what we're gonna do on offense and what we're gonna do on defense, but I'm just tired for the last 10 years of looking at this scoreboard in the first quarter and we're down 7-0, we're down 10-0. Like it feels like it's been like that for 10 years now. We look at the scoreboard and we're down 7 points. Then it becomes 14 points. And I just hope that week one, we're the team that gets to look at the scoreboard and we're like, okay, we're up 7 points, and put the pressure on the Ravens offense. Like, I really want to get that first score, up 7, go up 10. Like, I can't stand another season of watching us come out unprepared. And just like that, it feels like the game's over. We're down 7, down 10. Like, I just don't want to see that shit no more.
Nah, you're totally right. It's going to be huge for the player psyche. It's going to be huge for the fan psyche. I don't even want to say it, but let's be real. If Baltimore opens with the ball and marches down the field easy, kind of how Philly did in the first preseason game, and just scores a touchdown, fans are going to already be like, bro, this is what we're fucking doing. Like, our fucking defense sucks, and the crowd is going to be almost out of it before we even touch the ball. You know what I'm saying? So we need to create.
They have to. The Jets have to score first. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't want.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Jets have to. If the Jets score first, that place will be really electric. Especially if they get a field goal, a field goal. But if they score a touchdown, that place. If the Jets are up 7-0 on the first drive, the crowd will be up on first, second, third down. We need to do that. We need to jump ahead and reverse the psychology of what this team's been doing for the last. We're always down in the beginning. I know since the Gase era, they were outscored in the first half. I don't even know how much. It's been awful. So even with Bowles, it was awful. So we need to start off aggressively and fast.
Yeah, and my last question is this. Like, if you look at Lamar Jackson in the regular season, and I don't know the answer, so I hope our coaching staff does, and I hope they really dissected his whole career. But if you look at his regular season, from his touchdown to interception ratio to his completion percentage to his quarterback passer rating, to it's astronomical, man. Like, it's amazing. But then you look at his playoffs, and I wonder why he's struggling in the playoffs. Like, more interceptions than touchdowns, a horrible completion percentage, a very bad quarterback passer rating. So I hope that our coaching staff has watched his failures in the playoffs and whatever them teams have done to him to implement that same game plan, because it's night and day. Lamar in the regular season and Lamar in the playoffs. And I don't know the answer, but I hope our coaching staff does, because there's a big difference in the way he's played in them two situations.
You would hope so. Like I said earlier, our coaching staff said since the schedule dropped, they've been game planning against him. So I need to see something. We have the players to do it. Cornerbacks, linebackers, defensive line, a safety. We're weak at the other safety position, but I don't know. I need to see something. Go ahead, Buffalo, and then Terrence, and then James.
Yeah, man, I agree with whoever. Sorry, I didn't catch your name, but starting off hot is going to be so important. I feel like it's just going to be a here we go again if we're looking at a 10-0 score. But even if the Baltimore Ravens get the ball first and we start with a 3-and-out, we sack Lamar Jackson, it's going to sound like we just won the freaking Super Bowl, man. These Jets fans are so underrated. I'm up in Buffalo, and the Bills fans are like the darling of the NFL. But Jets have great fans, man. There's no bandwagon fans of the Jets. and they just want something to cheer for. So I think that's a really good point. And even if we don't win this game, Benny, I know you're – I love the confidence, by the way, brother. But it's time to win some games this year. I'm not saying it's a playoff mandate. I know we're a young team, but it can't be like a 5-year rebuild. It doesn't take that long. You see other teams with young quarterbacks and young coaches turn it around and start competing for the playoffs right away. It's not crazy to win 9 games. There's teams in the NFL that win 9 games by like accident. Okay, and look at the Pittsburgh Steelers have what? Are they going to win the Super Bowl with Mitch Trubisky? No, nobody's saying that. But if Baltimore went into their building week 1, nobody would be shocked if the Steelers beat them, because the Steelers are a good franchise. Good franchises should be in every single home game, and this should be competitive, man. This should be a 1-possession game in the fourth quarter, or something's gone wrong, dude.
I agree. It's honestly, I think we're gonna win. But if we do lose by a possession, we lose by a touchdown or like a late touchdown that we couldn't hold the fort, or a Justin Tucker field goal where he's obviously the best kicker in the league and he nails a freaking 60-yarder. Like, we're all gonna be freaking heartbroken. But look, give me till Tuesday, and I'm gonna be like, wow, we really stuck with a team that is 100% playoff bound and has one of the best quarterbacks in the league, has one of the best head coaches in the league. Obviously, they're going to be really good one of the best secondaries in the league, and we held with them. And that'll give me confidence within itself right there. But go ahead, Terrence, and then Petty.
Yeah, exactly what everybody's been saying. But to me, the team has to realize, hopefully it will, that, our talent level is a lot better than it's been, in the last 5, but, overall the last 10 years. And that needs to translate on the field. And that's where I hope this coaching staff has them prepared, because, somebody made the point before about the Ravens secondary. Even though some people are coming off injury, but at the same time, it's clear Elijah Moore knows how to get open. And it's clear, as somebody said too, that Garrett Wilson is probably going to have the third cornerback on him, and I think that's a matchup problem for them. And then when you consider Tyler Conklin, just people that weren't there last year, like this team is overall better, and we haven't talked about the secondary. With Reed and Sauce, basically, totally new cornerbacks that we feel are a level up from what we had before. The fact that we're like on the edge, at least like 5 or 6 deep, and the rookies aren't even like cracking even the second team right now, but that will change. I just think, I think it's a mindset. Kind of like what somebody just said, like, the fan base is gonna, like, the air is gonna be let out of the room if the Ravens just march down the field and score. It's a mentality. I think the fans are going to be pumped, like Petey said. But I also think, it's both teams are 0-0, and the past doesn't matter anymore. And I just hope that that's what the mindset of this team's going to be. That we're here to change minds about who the Jets are, and it's not, it's a mentality, but at the same time, we have some good players on our squad now too, and it needs to translate on the field. And we have matchup problems. We give matchup problems to teams now too, because of the talent level that we have. And I haven't even mentioned the running game and the hope that they've been holding back on Breece Hall to make sure he wasn't injured during the game. I do think it'll be 50-50 in the beginning in terms of touches between him and Michael Carter. But I definitely expect, if he progresses the way that he should, that by the time we get into October, that Breece Hall is becoming more and more like like maybe a 60-40 touches guy. You have to remember, I think the one main thing about him is that he's still learning the pass blocking scheme. So I don't know necessarily how often he's going to be out there on third down until we can prove he can pass block also. But again, that's I think Buffalo Jet fan is and defense is hitting it on the head. But I also think again that this talent level is so much better. It definitely needs to translate onto the field. It would be horrible for us to lose like 31-0 for some reason. I mean, it's just the talent's there. It's time for it to time for us to execute out there, and that's really all I want to say. And I just think if the fans see that, if the fans see progress, and the fans see that we're moving the ball, I think that they're going to be a factor out there. And I just think the fan base is hungry for a winner, and if we just show the signs early on, I think they're going to be there with a great response, and it could alter some aspects of the game, especially like in the fourth quarter when it's like a 3rd and 3, and like maybe and the Ravens are deep in their own territory, and we're trying to stop them from getting a first down, and like that crowd is just like making it hard to communicate with everything out there. So that's something that the Jet fans always have brought. It's just that they need to see a team that's trying out there, and I really think this is the year that we're going to do it.
Yeah, I just want to hit at one thing that you mentioned right there is the mentality of this team. Obviously, most of you guys know I just put it out there on the jumbotron right now. I interviewed Tyler Conklin this past week, and we were talking about obviously the tight end position, but the overall swag and demeanor of the whole team. What should we be expecting to watch every single Sunday? And I don't believe this is going to be a roster that sits there and lays down. I think the whole roster, but Tyler made it known that the expectation is to start winning games. The expectation is to be in every game and fight to the last whistle. So that I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air for all of us Jets fans, seeing a team that even if we're down by a field goal going into halftime, what I'm saying, we're not going to put our heads down. Like, this is a team that knows what to do and is going to go out there and execute the best way possible. And you also mentioned one other thing about Elijah Moore knowing how to get open. And to me, I know I made this point earlier, and I know it was only practice, granted, but Elijah Moore was getting open practically every time AJ Terrell was covering him. If you ask me, AJ Terrell was better than Marcus Peters. If you ask me, AJ Terrell was even better than Marlon Humphrey. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not too worried about Elijah Moore not being able to get open. Xavier Howard, Elijah Moore was frying him. To me, I think Xavier Howard is better than Marcus Peters. So I think Elijah Moore is bound to have a really fucking good game. As long as Flacco is accurate and gets the ball in his hands, I expect Elijah to have probably go for very close to 100 yards, probably score a touchdown, things of that nature. But I don't know. I usually feel going into any game, I'm like, damn, we're going to fucking get smacked. This game, I genuinely feel like we're going to upset the Ravens. Like, there's nothing that you could tell me that strikes fear into my heart outside of Lamar Jackson running around for like it was Madden in 2007 with Michael Vick. Like, if he's not doing that, we're going to win. Like, it's just going to happen. I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is. Go ahead, Petty.
Yeah, so I think our team knows what our fan base looks like when we're losing and how rabid we are. Imagine how crazy we're gonna be if we start off 1-0, and then we just keep going and we just keep building off of that. I mean, like, and I think it's just me because I don't really think the players really buy into it. But like, I feel like the fans will energize the shit out of the team if it's a winning team, because we energize the shit out of them when they're losing. Like, what is it? We can, like, the crowd gets rocking at MetLife when things go right. Even when we're like we're 0-15, we were going crazy against the Rams. I mean, like, yeah, we ended up winning a meaningless game, but it felt good, and the fans were going absolutely insane, as if we were in the process of trying to go for an undefeated season. So I think them actually feeling what the fans can be when the team is good, knowing what the fans are when the team is bad, it would be a completely different feeling for those guys, because our team is so young and all they've known is losing for so long. that when they see when they see what happens when they win with us, I think it's going to change them, and they don't want to see anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. And the one thing I do have to say about that is one thing we do need to genuinely realize is that I know we've been a fucking god awful organization for the past 12 years, or whatever the number is, where we haven't made the playoffs. But this is a completely new roster, even compared to last year. There's so many new guys on this roster that they're not part of the fucking losing history. They're not part of the Jets being going like almost finishing the year with 2 wins. Like they're not part of that roster. A lot of these guys come from winning cultures. CJ was part of a losing culture, but saw what it took to transform a team and get to a Super Bowl. Lincoln has consistently played in big games, going up head to head with Aaron Donald all the damn time and holding his own. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Whitehead. I know the Bucks were an average team, but again, he won a Super Bowl. And I know it's only college, but Sauce Gardner was a part of the 4th seed Cincinnati that obviously got smacked in the college football playoffs. But he knows winning. He knows what it takes to win. Like we got winners all across the board, and we can't necessarily be like, oh, well, this is the same old Jets. Like, oh, all they know is losing. They don't know that. They know winning, and they don't care about what happened fucking 5 years ago when nobody on this team was a part of the Jets organization. This is brand new, and the expectation is to win. And I know that's a sentiment that's spread across the whole locker room, and the words from Tyler Conklin himself. So go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Benny, great interview with Tyler. I watched that. I kind of wish we got a chance to ask questions via super chats or whatever, but that's fine. Maybe he didn't have time. The other thing is, what do you expect Tyler to say to the question that you asked him? Like, of course he's going to tell you we expect to win. He's not going to say we're going out there to get blown out every game. But so that's not a reason I would say that the team's different necessarily. I mean, yeah, it's different because there's more talent, but not because of what they said. Because even the teams that got blown out years ago used to say the same thing about wanting to win and expecting to win and all this other crap. So that's my view on everything. I don't know what you guys think.
No. And obviously, we're not expecting Tyler Conklin to be, oh, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna try our best. You know what I'm saying? He gave the right answer. Like, that's exactly what I'm expecting to see. But I know in past years we heard Jamal Adams, we're gonna be fucking great. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna fucking turn this around. This is the year we start fucking winning. But if you were any kind of like a logical fan, really, and you fucking took a look at this roster, and you're like, bro, this roster is a fucking minor league roster. Like, these dudes suck ass across the board. We have a horrible. Adam Gase was the fucking head coach. If you thought remotely that Adam Gase was gonna fucking use Le'Veon Bell remotely, right? You were out of your goddamn mind. Players could talk about, oh, we're doing this, we're gonna start fucking winning. But then you look past those fucking words and you see this team is not ready to win. Sam Darnold's our quarterback, and I was never a fan of Sam Darnold. He turned the ball over like fucking crazy his whole college career. So expecting him to cut off turnovers now in playing a bigger game, hell no, bro. Sam Darnold was bound to fucking suck anyway. I know we failed him, but he fucking failed himself too, and it is what it is. But when you look at this roster, there's actual talent on this roster across the board. So when a player is like, this is different, we're going to be competing in every single game. The goal is to start winning games and be a part of something special this year. That is something that actually means something, in my opinion, because you could look past the words and see that there's actual evidence of a good roster, evidence of good culture building. You know what I'm saying? You see it. Guys score a touchdown in the preseason, the whole freaking team is in the end zone celebrating. Like, it, stuff like that means something. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't being said a few years ago. It was Jamal Adams throwing a fucking pissy fit. You know what I'm saying? Sam Darnold, I see fucking ghost. Like, that's what we saw. We're not seeing none of that this year. So I believe it. That's just me. Go ahead, Petey.
Just wanted to can you hear me, Benny?
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on what Mike said. I mean, Mike, you're saying, oh, what do you expect Tyler Conklin to say or whatever? How about praising Benny for getting this guy on and getting us, a 40-minute interview with him instead of being the negative Jet fan that we always are?
Pete,
Like
I did say excellent
I
interview.
get it though, Mike. But Mike, your takes are always negative. Like it's never nothing positive, though, bro. Like I'm just telling you how it is. I'm not trying to like start a confrontation here, but the guy just put his heart and soul out. He didn't have to do it. You know what I mean? And Tyler Conklin's actually performing. He signed here to give this team production, and from everything we saw in the preseason, the guy's been nothing but a class act and kind of the star of the preseason. Now let's see if it transfers. Like a lot of Jets have been good in the preseason, and it hasn't transferred. But I think this guy's the real deal. I'm just saying, Mike. I'm just trying to come at it from a different angle. Like Benny worked his ass off. We work our ass off for people like you. You know what I'm saying? This isn't just about Benny and Justin interviewing and Sack doing this and Tanad doing this and Kenny doing this. It's everybody, man. We're doing this for you guys.
And nobody's discounting that. The question was, what did Tyler say?
Yeah, all right. I'm just making
and
a
how
point,
that
Mike.
changes our culture. It doesn't change our culture because they said that every single year, including Sam Darnold.
So a guy like Tyler Conklin doesn't change the culture. Or the Jets have brought in guys like this before.
The skill levels increase, but just because he says, "Oh, we expect to win," doesn't mean our culture has changed because they all said they expect to win.
But
I haven't heard a single player on the Jets in all the years say we expect to get blown out.
Do you see the culture change under Salah compared to Adam Gase?
Pete, yes, I think there's a change.
I'm just asking
but
you.
I'm not saying
yes
what.
Or no. I don't want to dominate the conversation, but I
Because
asked you a question. It seems like you're getting aggravated about it.
No, I'm not getting aggravated. I'm just saying, yes, the things are changing and we see it, but it's not because of what Tyler's saying we expect to win. Everybody is going to say they expect to win. That's the difference. That's kind of the point that I'm making. It's not what the players say. It's actually what we're seeing with the skills and with, hopefully the coaching puts it together. We'll see.
Fair enough. Thanks, Mike. Fair enough.
Nah, I feel you, Mike, and I'm not discounting anything you said. It's just, to me, in the past, when I was looking at players saying this, players saying that, I looked past that, and there was no chance in hell any of that shit was gonna fucking come true. We hired Adam fucking Gase. Before that, we had Todd Bowles, who didn't fucking smile, didn't dap a fucking player up. He did nothing. Like there was no culture, there was no talent. We had Jermaine Kearse running routes. We had nobody. Like there was nothing. We had no tight end play. Like, oh, we're gonna start fucking winning. No, you're not. You have a fucking horrible coach. You have a horrible offensive line. You have a horrible quarterback. You're not gonna start winning. Listen, it genuinely doesn't necessarily mean anything, but when you look past the words, there's at least evidence to prove that things are changing in the right direction, that the expectation is changing, because guys like Tyler Conklin, guys like CJ Uzomah, guys like Dwayne Brown, Quan Alexander, who we just signed not too long ago, wouldn't have been a part of this roster 2 years ago when we were clearly not going to be a good team, no matter what anyone said. You know what I'm saying? We sign guys that have been a part of winning cultures and want to be a part of this because they see what we're building. We're not signing guys like that a few years ago, where our veteran guys who've been a part around winning. Guys like that aren't signing up to be losers in this league. That's just not the case. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I see the evidence behind it. But go ahead, defense.
Yeah, man, I'm glad that we got players like C.J. Mosley stepping up and just giving these young kids confidence and not having this losing culture and actually saying, we can make the playoffs. Because you look at our draft, I mean, none of these kids have played a snap, but I know talent when I see it. We all do. And this is the second time in Jet franchise history that we've ever had 4 picks in the top 36, man, right? And the last time that happened was in 2000. And look at, we might have not never won a Super Bowl, but look how that it just changed our locker room, getting Pennington and getting Lavernius Coles and you know what I mean? That 2000 draft was, it was amazing, man. You know, so now, like you just said, man, you took the words right out of my mouth. When I had my hand raised, I wanted to mention what you just mentioned. Like, these players that came here are veteran leaders. You know, we had CJ Mosley right here in the locker room, but we just added Uzama. We just added Conklin. These are 2 tight ends who the Bengals and the Vikings wanted to bring back. We got Jordan Whitehead from Tampa Bay, man. You know, that's a big a veteran leader right there. We went and got Dwayne Brown, Laken Tomlinson, DJ Reed. Yo, these dudes didn't come here to lose, man. So when we hear these players in the locker room, especially the veterans, talk about a chance to make the playoffs, man, that's good for these young kids, man. I'm glad to hear it, man. I love it. I don't know who would have any problem with hearing it, man. This is what the young locker room needs to hear, these veteran leaders that believe in them. And at the end of the day, every veteran that came here, they believe in Robert Salah, man. Laken Tomlinson has played under him, man, in some fashion. You've got DJ Reed that's played with him, and Robert Salah even made a mistake with DJ Reed, but Reed didn't hold it against him. He still came. You know, Robert Salah overlooked the kid, you know, when he was first time together, man. Quan Alexander, man, these dudes believe in Robert Salah, man. I think we have a locker room that's just gonna fight for this dude, man. I love to hear what Conklin said, man, because he believes it, and everybody in that locker room believes it. And if you don't believe it, you can't achieve it.
Yeah, not 100%. And we're gonna go to Nod and then Matty Ice. What up, Nod?
Good morning, fellas. What's going on?
What's going on with you, bro?
Not much, man. You know, just listening to the conversation, you know, since the show started, I think, you know, just like based on what Mike and PD were talking about, man, if you don't look at these guys when they speak about this team and feel that, you know, the confidence and the work that they're putting in compared to previous regimes, then that means that you're just not paying attention. You know, it's not just all about guys talking. It's all about, you know, them feeling confident in the scheme and the system that they're a part of, to feel confident, you know, that they can go out there and win games. I haven't felt this confident in a while with the team, but at the same time, everything has to be put on the field, you know, done on the field. But I think when you look at, you know, this team on both sides of the ball, you know, especially offensively, you know, based on the conversation that you had with Conklin on Saturday, you know, you can see him just feeling extremely confident and him feeling like, okay, I know I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get open and I'm going to get the ball, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, like I said before, the game has to be played. But I just feel like when I look at this team from top to bottom, the talent, you know, the scheme that we have offensively, you know, even though we may feel a little bit doubtful regarding Jeff Ulbrich, but at the same time, we have the talent on defense to feel like, okay, even if the scheme is not great, these guys can still go out there and make plays. And it's up to the coaches to be able to make adjustments, to be able to, you know, game plan for guys like Lamar Jackson, to game plan for guys like Burrow, you know, when we played in week 3, you know, week 2, when we got a scheme for, you know, the running game that the Browns have. Same thing with the Steelers and things like that, you know. So the scheme to me is going to be the most important thing, but the talent is there for these guys to go out there and do what they have to do.
100%. If since we have the talent to do so, if Jeff Ulbrich and Coach Salah are dead set on their scheme and they're not going to adjust accordingly based on the matchups, then we're dead. Then we're toast because the talent is there. And then obviously jobs will be in question at that point if you can't adapt and you can't game plan against certain, because the game plan against the Bengals has to be totally different compared to the game plan against the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to adapt and make changes on the fly. If something's not working in the first quarter, you have to be able, at halftime, at least second quarter, make adjustments. In-game adjustments are going to be huge for this team. So, I agree. It's definitely more about the scheme and everything what we're going to do about that. Go ahead, Maddie, and then defense.
Guys, great job. Jet Lounge, Labor Day morning, loving it. Look, my thing is I'm not going to judge too much about what happens with the Jets for the season based on the first week. I think Lamar, the way that our defense is set up, I think we're going to have we're going to have a lot of work to do to improve the run defense, but I think our pass rush is going to be very good. So I think what Terrence was saying earlier, where the biggest key to this game is the over pursuit of Lamar. I think that's going to be the flat out number one biggest key of this game. We're going to be rushing the edges. We're going to be getting to the passer, but he's quick, he's elusive, and he's going to be running. So I think that we're going to be doing a lot of chasing. So like you were saying, Benny, the halftime adjustments are going to be a big thing. I think that's just the biggest key of the game. I think our defense is more set up to beat teams like a Jacoby Brissett, like a Joe Burrow, more of a kind of slower pocket passing type of quarterback. That's why I think even if we lose this first game, I still think we have a very good chance to win 2 games, maybe even 3 games in a row, even though we always, lay an egg in Pittsburgh. But, hoping for the best and, let's see what happens. But Lamar is the idea that we're just going to be, the idea of I love to see us contain Lamar. I know that their running backs hurt, but I'd love to see us contain Lamar. I'm just not I'm not sure that the defense is set up like that. We don't got big, bruising, fat guys. I got to see more of Sheldon Rankings, but great job, Benny. Yep.
No, I appreciate that. And I'm going to preface this. When I say containing Lamar Jackson, it's just not letting him run for 100 yards. Is there going to be plays where he breaks contain and runs for a first down, stuff like that? Yeah, it's going to happen. You're not completely nullifying that. There's no man in the NFL, especially no man on our team at least, that's going to be able to keep up with Lamar Jackson. It's bound to happen. So if you're going
Benny,
with the
do you think that
expectation,
Lamar, though, Benny, you think he's going to be trying to make a statement based on his current contract negotiation situation? Little concerned about the edge he's going to be going into, to make shit happen in the first week, sending a statement to the organization.
it could, but at the same time, I think Lamar Jackson knows his value, and no matter if the Ravens fuck up somehow and magically don't sign him, and he hits free agency or whatever, or he's just like, this team doesn't value me, so I want to go somewhere else, he's gonna get the bag anyway. God forbid, I don't wish injury upon no one. If Lamar Jackson goes out there and gets fucking hurt week 1, guess what? There's gonna be a team out there that's like, fuck it, here's $230 million. Like, take it. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing Lamar can do that's gonna fucking hurt his value, in my opinion. So I don't necessarily think he's gonna go in there with a chip on the shoulder, like, I'm about to just show this franchise up. Like, he's proven everything that there needs to be in this game. So I don't necessarily believe that much. But Lamar is going to be Lamar. It's just not allowing those plays consistently and getting those stops, those opportunistic stops where it's a third down, you need to get off the field. Let's not let Lamar run for 15 yards. It's third down. Let's get the stop. Let's clog those running lanes so our offense can get the ball again. You know what I'm saying? Those opportunistic stops. And hopefully, I believe we're going to need to create a turnover or two to have a legitimate chance where we capitalize on those turnovers. That's just me. Go ahead, defense, and then Ray, and then Betty.
Yeah, and I'll be quick because I got to get going. But I just wanted to let everybody know, man, throughout this whole offseason, it's been fun, man, talking Jets football with you guys. Like, I had no idea what Twitter was about. You guys have made my season, like, off-season, like, it's been so much fun, man. And I'll say this. It's impossible to create a top 10 list of the top 10 Jets that you're most excited to see. In years past, I already know off the top of my head which 10 players I'm excited to see. But I challenge everybody to make a post on Twitter and just name your top 10 players that you're most excited to look forward to. I'm going to tell you, you're going to feel like you're leaving a lot of players off, man, because it from Michael Clemens to Zach Wilson to Breece Hall to Michael Carter to Elijah Moore to Garrett Wilson to Conklin to Uzama to freaking Sauce. Bro, it's impossible to just name. That's how stacked we are. So all I want to say is this. For like the past couple of years, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about the word swag when it comes to sports. I had no idea what swag meant as a Jet fan. I had no idea what the word meant until we got kids like Michael Carter. Have you checked this kid's swag out, bro? He's always dancing in practice. Him and Elijah Moore, it's like they've got poetry and motion going, man, the way they're having fun in practice. And then you take Sauce Gardner. bro, them 3 kids right there, as a Jet fan, I know what other fan bases talk about when they're like, yo, we got that swag. Man, we got Sauce. We got Michael Carter. We got Elijah Moore, bro. Like, it's going to be a season for the ages, man. And people make fun of me, right? But I've been watching football, man, since I was a kid. And when I tell you from top to bottom, offense and defense, this is the most talented roster we've seen since 1998. Because in 2009, when I think of that, I think of Revis. That's what I think about, and a good offensive line. But when I think of 1998, I think of offense. I think of Bill Parcells and defense. If you look at these rosters, that this 2022 roster, yeah, it has to come on play on the field. But I haven't seen a roster this deep in talent since 98 under Parcells. And I really mean that, y'all. So that's why I made that record prediction of 12-5, because they won 12 games. If they could win 12 games with Vinny Testaverde, I know we could win 12 games with this team.
Your words to God's ears, bro. Shit, we deserve it. We need it, and this like you said, bro. We have the talent to do so, and that swag that you were talking about is evident between Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Michael Carter, Brees Hall, Tyler. In our interview, even mentioned it. The fact that guys like Quan Alexander, they come in, they're talking shit. They talk their smack. Sauce Gardner, a rookie, hasn't played a true NFL down yet, talks smack. These guys know what they can do. You know what I'm saying? Like during the I went to the open practice versus Atlanta when we were whipping their ass. Before we even started playing, I see Quan Alexander chirping. I see Sauce Gardner chirping. Like, that's the swag that we need, that we have not seen in a long time. We thought we had it with Jamal Adams, but he was celebrating like we won a Super Bowl and we was down 31-0. Like, it is what it is. That's not going to be the case this year. We're going to have guys making plays, having that swag while being up in games. So it is what it is. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Ray.
man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it gave me chills the other day when I seen Elijah Moore, and it was Elijah Moore and it was a Michael Carter. The way they were having fun on the practice field, like, I was just like, man, this team is going to be different. They're having fun on the practice field. Imagine when it's time to actually play football, man, how much fun these kids are going to be having. I haven't seen it in a long time, man. It's like Adam Gase completely just like destroyed the locker room. You know, we were losing before him, man. I don't know, man. I just think this team has so much young talent and the right amount of veterans to take them over the top, man. If fan bases are sleeping on this Jets team, man, we're gonna be dancing on their ass in the end zone. And I'm gonna go check out your the video when I'm barbecuing today, man. I'm gonna put it on. I haven't seen the interview with Conklin yet, but that's crazy how I just mentioned the swag, and then you told me he was saying the same thing. Man, two great minds think alike, man. I'm telling you, we're onto something right now. Robert Saleh is building a locker room. Joe Douglas is building a team. Yo, it's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, bro, definitely check it out. It was a really solid interview, bro. Like, I think the questions were solid, but his overall answers were really good. And again, I know I've said it plenty of times. Shout out to Conklin, mad humble, he's like a genuine dude. He mentioned in an interview that he just flew out to Michigan, where he's from, to see his mom real quick before the season started. But he took that 40 minutes aside to just chop it up with me. I know he had a busy schedule, and I know Michael mentioned it earlier, but that's why I didn't really have fan interaction with like the super chats and stuff like that. It's just time was limited, and I wanted to get everything I wanted out of the interview first. If we had more time, obviously I would have interacted more with the fans and did things like that. But it is what it is. We'll definitely watch that interview if you haven't. And then we're gonna keep going to the hands. Go ahead, Ray.
Defense, this space is recorded. If we go 12-5, I will buy you any Jet jersey you want. Right.
Yo, if we win anything more, 12 games or more than that, you know whose jersey I want? I want me a Jet Lounge jersey, bro. That's the one I want, dog.
All right, I will personally buy you the custom Jet Lounge jersey if we win 12 games. I got no problem doing that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With the number 7, all right? That's my favorite number, number 7, all right?
All right, number 7 for Mike Vick. But to my real point, I think we're Sorry, phone call came in. I think we're complicating things just a little bit. I think it's very simple. Go back to what the formula has been to defeat the Ravens in the past. It's what the Browns do. The Browns rely on their elite cornerback play. That's something we're going to have to. I know Sauce is a rookie. We're going to have to rely on him on one-on-ones. Same thing with DJ Reed. You got to stack the box, make it where Lamar's got to beat you over the top, and trust in that free agent. And DJ Reed, you brought in free agent. You think he's a top corner. Same thing with, drafting Sauce Gardner. I think it's very simple like that. You bring Whitehead in the box. He can act kind of like, a floating linebacker, kind of spying Lamar. He's got that quickness, that great tackling ability. I think that's really the game plan. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a coach, but, stacking the box where they're saying, okay, we can't run it. We have to throw it over the top. And I'm just going to dare them to do that because I don't think they have the talent at the wide receiver position to do it.
No, you're right. They don't have the talent at the wide receiver position to do it. And I forgot who mentioned it earlier. If we get beat somehow by Rashad Bateman making some fucking ridiculous catches and doing whatever, down the field, it is what it is. I'll take a loss that way rather than seeing Lamar run all over us, score 2 touchdowns on the ground, go for damn near 100 yards, or even Mark Andrews going for $150 on us, doing a whole lot of that's not an acceptable loss in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If they beat us in ways that they haven't proven that they could play, cool. It is what it is. We weren't ready for that. But I don't know. We have to stack the box, just like Ray said.
Well, Benny, also, if you think about it, we could stack the box. We don't necessarily have to rush the passer. We brought in this defensive talent on the line. Carl Lawson's got to show why we paid him. Why is Jermaine Johnson a first-round pick? These guys, JFM got paid last year. Quentin Williams was a freaking number 3 pick. We shouldn't have to throw extra edge rushers. It's more of those 4 should get after it. And then you contain after it once he's flushed out of the pocket or whatever happens. I don't think we need to send that extra rusher.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do it all the time, but I definitely think we need to, because it worked last year with Cincinnati did it, Miami did it. They brung those extra, they cut off those rushing lanes by bringing that extra pressure. And not that Lamar can't handle it at all, but that's where he struggles, where he can't move around. You're stuck in the pocket and you got to make a throw and your receivers kind of suck outside of Mark Andrews. So if you somewhat cover Mark Andrews and he has to look into his second read, he's going to struggle. When the pressure comes, he looks at Mark Andrews, and if he can't get the ball to Mark Andrews, then boom, he struggles. It's clear evidence game plan that's worked against him, and that's what they have consistently done to him in the playoffs, and that's why he hasn't had a crazy amount of success in the playoffs. So I think we need to just copy and paste that same game plan. Copy, paste, because that's clearly the only thing that works. And when you're playing that soft zone, Lamar will
just Benny. If Salah's supposed to be this defensive guru, freaking show up week 1. I'm tired of getting fucking blown out in these games. Because Vegas has it as it being a freaking blowout, and a lot of Jet fans have it as being a blowout. And I'm just so tired of accepting that. It's time that we actually show up. And Salah, he's getting paid to coach. So it's time to start coaching.
Hey, Ray and Benny, man, real quick. I don't want to jump the line, but I was playing my nephew in Madden the other day, and I made him use the Ravens, and I was using the Jets. I couldn't stop Lamar Jackson with my 4-man front, so what did I start doing? I started cornerback blitzing Sauce Gardner like he did in Cincinnati, bro, and my nephew was struggling, man. Sauce Gardner was coming off the edge. You got to send a cornerback after his ass, man. Even in Madden, you got to do it.
But yeah, let's definitely keep going to the hands. I know, Chris, you ain't get a chance to speak here. What up, Chris? Yo, Chris, you there, bro?
He's laughing at my Madden comment. Give him some time.
All right, Chris, we're gonna keep it pushing. Go ahead, Steven.
Okay. I'm not a full Jets fan, but I like what y'all are building. But 12-5 is a little
Hey,
steep.
what's
I
going
was
on,
just
y'all?
looking at the schedule.
Benny,
Um,
with the interview. Um,
Yo, Chris, you kind of coming in and out, bro. You cut in and out. You could hold up. Yeah, go ahead, Steven and Chris. We'll get right back to you. Go ahead, Steven. My fault.
all right, so on the schedule, y'all have Ravens week 1. That can be iffy, up in the air. I kind of like the Ravens on week 1, but it's whatever. On to the next one, y'all got Browns week 2. I like y'all on Browns, but then Bengals. I like the Bengals. I like y'all win the Steelers and trade one with the Patriots, but I don't know about the other ones besides the Bears for y'all. At least this year.
Now
But
I know.
I don't know y'all are building.
Nah. I'm gonna break this down too for you real quick. On this show, we kind of a while back when the schedule would drop, we went through the whole schedule. We did like a deep breakdown of like each roster and shit like that. To me, the Patriots are horrible. They got Bill Belichick. Granted, they got nothing else besides Bill Belichick. They lost their offensive coordinator, who was the only reason that offense was halfway okay. They got Matt Patricia and Joe Judge as their fucking offensive coordinator with their second-year quarterback with no talent on the roster. We should smack the shit out of the Patriots 2 times, in my opinion. The Ravens could go either way, back and forth. Cleveland, they got Jacoby Brissett, and they got a good running game, but they have a fucking horrible quarterback. We should win that game. Steelers, we tend to struggle there. Part of me in my gut says that's going to be a tough place to win. But if we're going to be a legitimate good team and that we're trying to show that we're going to be a team to be reckoned with, teams like the Steelers should be a win. I'm not going to guarantee a win there. Guys, we got Detroit. Detroit's going to be a better team, but I think we have a better team than Detroit. We should beat Detroit. Jacksonville, we should beat Jacksonville. Chicago, we should blow the doors off of freaking Chicago. Miami, we should at least split with Miami. Granted, Buffalo is probably going to beat us 2 times because they're Super Bowl favorites for a reason. But yeah, I think there's winnable games across the board. And if we're going to be a legitimate good team, these are games that we need to win. There's no excuse for it. This isn't the same Jets. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you. Let's go, Maddie.
Yeah, hopefully defense can email his game plan from Madden to Salah. That'd be great. Anyways, so Betty, I was just wondering. I missed it. I haven't listened to the interview yet, but with Conklin. But can you let us what from your perspective? What do you think was the most interesting thing that Conklin said to you?
That's good. The most interesting thing that he said. Let's see. I know I asked him a lot about like his personal stuff, like from how he came up, from playing college basketball to then transforming into a football player and things like that. Honestly, this is probably something that Jets fans would like to hear, and that's why I'm gonna probably give you guys this answer. But obviously, he played with JJ in Minnesota, and he didn't say that Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson are necessarily going to be JJ, but he kind of hinted at the fact that he sees those similar tendencies, the work ethic, the overall talent, from the route running to being able to go up and get the ball, things like that, where obviously he's not going to put the pressure on Elijah or Garrett. That's a rookie and be like, oh, yeah, they're 100% going to be JJ. But kind of seeing that he's really excited about this wide receiver room and the talent that they bring. He even gloated about Corey Davis and what Corey Davis has been able to do on this roster. So I think, to me, it's exciting now. A tight end, one of the main things he's excited about is the wide receiver room. And he mentioned how deep that wide receiver room is. And yeah, so that'd probably be my answer, to be honest. But yeah, let's go to Petty. What's up, Petty?
Yeah, I wanted to go back to like just breaking down Lamar Jackson. And You're absolutely right. There's no way we're gonna be able to just completely contain him and stop him from running. But I think it's in our best interest to make him think twice about running. Meaning you hit him so hard that he's not willing to go out there because he's gonna get hurt. Like not to hurt him, but make it football is a physical sport. So anytime you get hit, it hurts. So you just want to make him think like, I don't necessarily know if I want to run this ball even though that's a key part of his game. And if you're able to make him think twice and force him to stay in the pocket because he's going to get hit by the likes of CJ Mosley or Jordan Whitehead or even Quincy Williams, but he needs to be careful because we don't want him taking 15-yard penalties. Um Guys like that, he's going to think twice and you force him to be a one-dimensional player, even though he's known for being dynamic. I think you put yourself in a really, really good position to win the game. But yeah, you're not going to be able to stop him, but you're going to want to make him like you want to mentally make him think twice about that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. I know Chris, you were struggling with your service, I think, something like that. So if you can hear me, Chris, you could come chop it up. What's good, Chris?
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Because I know I was in the Matrix bad.
Yeah, I hear you now, brother. Yeah, and I hear you now, man.
All right, cool. Let me know if you can. So I'm gonna try to go quick because it seems like I'm in the Matrix. First and foremost, excellent job with your interview with Tyler Conklin. Obviously, it's even better that you know that it was on YouTube so that you could see everybody's facial expressions. You know, because it always adds to the interview. So you know, kudos on that. I think I was listening to Petey, and I'm not sure if it was Michael, and they were talking about. And I think what was brought up was, well, you know, what do you expect, you know, a player to say? I thought that was interesting, in the sense of, you know, the value that you give from the information that you get from a player. Why do I say that? I happen to sit down because I'm really starting to look at Baltimore right now. I'm comfortable with us. Nobody has to, you know, convince me, you know, with you know what the Jets are. Um, but I'm really starting to look at the Ravens, and I happen to listen to a podcast called the Lounge Podcast. Uh, Coincidentally, it's episode 392. It was with I think the fullback, Pro Bowl fullback Pat Ricard, and you know part of what they're talking about, you know, is trying to get back to Ravens football and running the ball. Having said that, you know, going through and y'all can, you know, maybe you guys can help me, you know, with what you think about, you know, the running back core for the Ravens. Obviously, except for you know Ricard, who's a Pro Bowler. If I'm not mistaken, we're not sure about Dobbins' health. They got a guy, Mike Davis. They brought in Kenyon Drake, Justice Hill, and I think it's Gus Edwards. But the biggest thing that I pulled from that podcast, we may not be threatened by the outside wide receivers. Guys, they love this dude Isaiah Likely. When I say they love, they were gushing. I mean, so I mean that's why, you know, when I get back, you know, getting permission from a player, you know, how much do you put on it? I thought that, you know, because he just, and that's why, you know, listen to it, you know, for yourself. But one of the things that he said was this kid Isaiah Likely makes a flash play every day, and it's been from OTAs throughout the preseason. So it's going to be interesting to see how linebackers and safeties, you know, and I know Ray, you know, if you would jump in, because I know you were talking about the safety play and bringing a safety play, uh, in terms of defending, because I think they may possibly go, you know, with two tight ends, and that may also be able to help their offensive line. We don't know really about the health of their offensive line. Ronnie Stanley, is he going to be available? I know Linderbaum. There was, you know, a little question about his foot early on. And I was listening to another podcast with Kevin Zeitler, and he was talking about how good Linderbaum is and how he picks up things so quick. So he's not worried about him missing some of that time. If you guys would want to start kicking that around, but especially this thing, Isaiah Likely, they really love him.
Yeah, no, I've honestly been hearing the same thing, but like from like reading up on stuff and hearing certain things, it's like that kid Likely is no joke. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're gonna do a lot of those two tight end sets where obviously it's gonna help with that offensive line with Stanley being in question. Morgan Moses, I know he was a Jet last year, but let's be real, George Fant, who isn't a good right tackle, somehow beat him out at right tackle before Beckton got hurt, and obviously the switch happened. But I think there's questions along that offensive line, so I definitely think they're going to use those two tight end sets, and I think Likely is an eye to definitely keep an eye on because he's a legitimate receiving threat, probably better than their second wide receiver. Like, let's be real. So we definitely need to somehow contain the tight end play. I don't know how much we're really going to game plan for Isaiah Likely. I'm not even gonna lie, I haven't watched Ravens preseason games. I don't know if he was doing these flashy plays against second team, third team, all like defenses. Like I don't know. And I think if Isaiah Likely beats you, you kind of have to accept it. Like there's not too much film that you have on Isaiah Likely where you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is exactly what we need to do. We just need to prepare for the two tight end sets and the things that they're gonna do because they do have a complex running game where they do a lot of motion, a lot of trickery to kind of get the linebackers like a little bit hesitant and going downfield, and they create big holes and they explode off those holes. I don't know, but their running back room doesn't necessarily scare me as much. Kenyon Drake is okay, you know what I'm saying? I think J.K. Dobbins, I genuinely don't think he's going to play. Gus Edwards, I believe he was already ruled out. And in terms of, I know you mentioned Linderbaum, but to me, Quinnen Williams on a contract year needs to look right at Linderbaum's face and be like, you're a little boy, and I'm going to eat your food all freaking game. I need Quinnen to show us why he wants that big contract. There's no reason why a center in his first game should get remotely close to stopping him. I need Quinnen to explode and have a legitimately huge game, creating pressure from inside the pocket while our edges do what they needed to do. But that's just me. Go ahead, Ray.
Hey,
Well,
hey
to
Benny,
piggyback
one
off
second.
of
It's interesting that you pointed out motion because Kevin Zeitler was talking about the motion that they use rather than it being normally so much with wide receivers that they would do a lot of motion with tight ends. It's interesting that you put on that. I'm sorry about that, Ray.
No, you're good. Well, I was actually going to your point. They're going to, without a doubt, we keep talking about, our pros and what we're going to do. Think about what they're thinking. The Jets couldn't stop the run up the middle against anybody last year. Literally anybody. We were dead last. So they're going to say the same thing we are. They're going to put those two tight ends out there, and they're going to run, and run some more, and they're going to try to feed off the play action. What Salah and Ulrich are going to have to do is say, if Dobbins is out, are you willing to put Sauce on an island to help, it's also going to be they're going to be really reliant. I personally don't feel.
Yeah, Ray, you're in the Matrix a little bit, bro.
How am I now? Am I
Oh, you're
still
good.
in the
You're good.
Matrix? Okay.
No,
Everybody
you're
knows
good.
how
It was just the tail end.
All right. Everybody knows how I feel about Quincy as of right now. I just don't think he's a good player. Yeah. Does he have a big hit here or there? Yeah, that's all great. But he's one of the most undisciplined people we've ever seen, penalty-wise and with his eyes. And you bet your ass, if he's playing weak side linebacker, they're going to be throwing motions and everything at him. And if he's not disciplined, it's going to cost us big.
Yeah, Ray, you back in the matrix, bro. You back in the matrix, Ray. Yeah. Well, nah, I feel you. I don't think I'm right with you, Ray. I don't think Quincy's a really good player. I think Quincy is undisciplined. He likes hitting, and I don't know. I think he's one that's going to be able to be fooled easily with the motions, with the trickery and stuff like that. That's why I know we're going to have 3 linebackers on the field with certain sets, with certain coverages and things like that. But to me, I need to see C.J. Mosley and Quan Alexander as the main 2 on the field all the time. Quincy, you could use him in an occasional pass rush sense or get to the quarterback, get downfield. But in terms of coverage and doing things like that, I don't want Quincy out there. He's going to cost us big time, especially with a quarterback that is so elusive like Lamar Jackson, who could create. Quincy, to me, he's going to try to light Lamar up, and Lamar's going to make him look stupid. But it is what it is. Go ahead, Tanad.
Yeah, the point that I wanted to make real quick, I think like a lot of fans that, a lot of people that aren't Jets fans, they don't pay attention to the team, right? They don't pay attention to what's been going on. All they've seen, from before is just the bad records, and then now this year, with all the time that we've been able to put together to just change the culture and just give us fans a different type of look, as far as how a football team is supposed to be, constructed and really put together. It's I get tired of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I get tired of hearing people talk about certain things that they don't pay attention to. I can't speak on the Ravens as far as their entire team because I'm not a Ravens fan. It's different when it's a team that's in my division to okay, I pay attention to them more. So a lot of those things, just hearing people talk about certain things is just like, okay, if you don't pay attention to the team and you don't go to camp, you don't listen to interviews, you don't listen to the coaches and the players speak, you can't talk about certain things. But I do believe that this team to me will be a good team. And this is what I mean by a good team. A good team doesn't have to be a team that wins 12, 13, 14 games. A good team is a team that's able to compete, right? Games are close. You're going to lose some close games. You're going to lose some you're going to lose some of those games. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. It's a part of the NFL and it's a part of the game, sports itself, right? But the way this team is put together, when you look at the roster from top to bottom, if this team does not win at least 8 games, that means that the coaching staff did not do what they were supposed to do based on the talent that they have. Okay? We can talk about, okay, we think that we could go 10-7, 11-6, 12-5, all we want. But that is the ceiling as far as certain teams overachieve. But as far as the bare minimum, this team has the talent to win at least 8 games. And then everything else that happens after that is based on either we get a couple bounces that goes our way. Somebody miss a field goal when they try to tie the game, then for us to be able to win, or somebody throws a pick and we're able to run it back to be able to take a lead. There's so many small details that goes into a game that we don't know until the game is happening, and we see, players make mistakes or certain guys, they take advantage of certain things to be able to get us over the hump. But the talent on this team is one thing that I cannot cry about. The only thing that I could cry about as a fan is the coaching staff doing exactly what they need to do, or if they're not doing what they need to do, I could whine about that. But as far as the talent, I can't complain about the talent. Like you guys were saying earlier, I think defense brought this up. If you talk about the top 10 players on this team, you're gonna have a hard time putting it together. Because the talent that we have right now is just so much better than anything that we've had before. And, you have guys that, okay, they may not have been guys that, they've proven that they can win in this league, because we're such a young team. But you look at the veterans on the team are veterans that have proven things in this league, veterans that have won. So when you try to put this team together with all the young guys that we have, and you put that together with the veterans, this team should be able to win at least 8 games, and it could possibly end up being 9, 10, or maybe 11 if things bounce our way.
that's just the way that I look at it. I'm so excited the fact that the season is here, so we could stop all these speculations. So week to week basis, we could see exactly what we get from this team. Because we've been talking about this for the last few months. The draft was a long time ago. The summer was a long ass summer, just talking about sports. But now's the time to where, okay, the season is next week. Us as fans, when we go to the game, scream your lungs out. A lot of teams have advantages based on the stadium. People just going crazy, screaming their lungs out, giving their team the advantage that way to be able to force the opposing offense to have false starts, miscommunication to where they can't hear the quarterback changing plays and things like that. This is the time for us to be able to appreciate what we have right now, the culture change, the ability to make a difference and help this team out on a week-to-week basis. When you watch the Chiefs play, when you watch even some of the bad teams, you watch the Lions play, when they're being competitive last year, the stadium was going crazy. Now, mind you, they didn't even have a future quarterback, so when you look at like us, we have Zach. Yeah, he may not be playing week 1, but at the end of the day, the team is so much more than Zach. That's all I wanted to say.
Shit. I was clapping the whole time you was talking, bro, because you're completely right. Now is the time. Now is genuinely the time to do it. And we're going to do it, bro. It is what it is. So, yeah, if there is anyone else that wants to come up, talk about week 1 or anything that you're looking forward to, whatever, request up. If not, I do got some things to do. Granted, I don't know if y'all into shoes or whatnot. I just copped some new shoes for game day. I need to. New Dunks that came out. That shit is fire. They green, white, and black. Needed to cop those. So it is what it is. But tonight, you don't got nothing else to say, bro, because if not, I'm probably going to end it and probably dip out of here and get ready for y'all show later tonight.
Yeah, that was the last one that I really wanted to make, because I feel like a lot of fans, I feel like it's mostly the older fans that, they're not being as understanding, or they're not looking at, they look at it, they're comparing this current team to, okay, you know what, the 98 team, they had so much more talent. They had the coaching staff and everything like that. Okay, but that was then. Can we focus on now? If you look at the roster that we have, the guys that we have as a coaching staff, do you feel confident that, okay, they can help this team get better? Yes. That's just from my part of it. I see a lot of comments on Twitter, regarding this team, just people just feeling so negative about it. And I'm just like, I really don't get it. I really don't. But at the end of the day, I can't control everyone's emotions towards the team, because some people, they feel like they've been fans for 40 plus years and they haven't gone anywhere, but at the end of the day, like, I just can't focus on the past when it comes to sports, especially with football. Like, it's so much emotion, there's so much energy that you put into it, that if you're focused on, the team that we had 2-3 years ago, then you're in for a tough year, if that's how you feel about it. But I really think that, this team is gonna be able to, like, make us proud of what we currently have, and us to be fans of this team moving forward. But yeah, that's really it. I'm not sure. Chris, what's going on, Chris? Any thoughts?
Yeah, tonight you got a show tonight.
Yes, sir.
Because if you got a show tonight, then I'm gonna save. Yeah, then yeah, I'm gonna come through. I'm gonna save what I got. I'm gonna save what I got for the night, so Benny can do what he got to do. I'm telling you, I wanna chop up. If you get a chance, bro, listen to that Lounge podcast. It's a Baltimore Ravens podcast, because I want to see how we could really get at this offensive line. All right, my man. I'm gonna talk to y'all later then.
Now, I appreciate it. I'm definitely gonna listen to it while I'm at work right now. So I'm gonna listen to it, and then we could definitely talk about it for a couple minutes later on tonight, because it's better for us to be able to get insight on the team. But real quick, just talking about Isaiah Likely, I think, like, with a player like him who's so talented, like Benny, you stated that you'll be okay with a guy like that beating you. I'm not, because when the guy has the talent, whether he's a rookie or not, you got to be able to game plan, because they're probably going to line him up at receiver. Same thing with Mark Andrews. So we just got to be able to be prepared for things like that. If, like I said weeks ago, if we got to put sauce on Andrews, if you got to put sauce on Likely, and DJ Reed to be able to stick Bateman all throughout the game, and a lot of these other guys to be able to do what they do, then, I'm all for it. But I think the game plan from this defense, game one, needs to show us a whole lot, not just because of the talent, but because of the preparation. Like, we know who they have, we see the talent that they have on that team. So the game plan, like, I really hope Robert and Ulbrich are really just putting something special together in order to not lose a game because of what Lamar Jackson is able to do. If we lose a game because of Lamar Jackson, that means that they did not prepare themselves at all for the last several months since the schedule came out. So that's going to be the tough part for me. If we lose, let's say if the game end up being, like something, a 3-point game, win or lose, and it's not because of the game planning or the defense, I might be okay with it. Might. But I need a W walking out that stadium, man. Like, game one, I need a W to walking out that stadium so we could go wild and enjoy ourselves and just be like, all right, boom, on to week 2 to possibly make it 2-0 and then just move forward. So, we need to start the season fast. Like, I'm tired of these slow starts, starting 0-3, 0-4, 0-5. We need to be able to start the season fast and give fans something to look forward to.
Hell yeah, we need to come out with a W. We're going to be lit in the parking lot. For y'all that are still here, I know a lot of people left. You go into the game, we're going to be lit in the parking lot before, and if we leave with a W, we're going to be lit in the parking lot after the fact too. So we're going to get out to a fast start. It is what it is. But yeah, I definitely need to dip out of here. I appreciate you, Tanad. And then for those of you who don't know, Tanad and PD show is on later tonight. So definitely tune into that. They got some good guests pulling on for them too. So yeah, stay tuned. Game week, we finally made it. And let's get ready for week 1 because it's gonna be something special. Definitely gonna be something special. So I appreciate y'all all that tuned in. And if you haven't listened to it already, click the link up top. It's on my page as well, where you can watch the interview with Tyler Conklin. Really good interview. So tune into that and you'll get a lot of good insight on him and the team as a whole. So I appreciate y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one, y'all.
Enjoy your day, fellas and ladies. We'll talk to y'all later on.